Can you maybe just start by introducing yourself and what you are doing, what is important for you?
Absolutely. So my name is ULLOA, and I am the PLM Applications Manager at Bell. And what I'm mainly responsible for is the 3DX upgrade. And so we have an existing environment that we are in production with for specific programs. But the big project is going to be the upgrade of all of our other data, all of our legacy data, now going from CATIA V6 13X and ENOVIA into 3DX 2025X.
That's a big jump. So maybe
Absolutely.
we can come back a bit in the history, even before maybe you join Bell yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So whenever I first started in the PLM world was pretty much around on the end of college, and we were in CATIA V6 2011. So this is pre-3DX days.
Yeah, exactly. Because again, just to remind, we introduced COExperience in 2014.
That's right.
So it was definitely in the pre-3DX days, as you said.
Absolutely. And along that journey, then we upgraded to the 2013X. So again, that's probably like the last release before COExperience. And we've pretty much did heavy customizations in that environment. And that's led us to kind of be stuck there for a prolonged period of time. And so now that's where we're at now, is unraveling a lot of that customization that we did and going more with aligning with the Dassault strategic roadmap for and taking advantage of any of the out-of-the-box functionality. And if the out-of-the-box functionality is not there yet, we're trying to discuss with Dassault, hey, how do we get it to where it meets at least the base requirements, and then we augment on top of it, but still maintaining out-of-the-box.
So I think that this is an interesting story because, again, I mean, we have obviously many customers who started with us some time ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and are also going through this transition. So can you maybe tell us more about how you took this challenge, or what are the steps you went through to set up the new target and then define the path to move from where you are today to?
Yeah, I mean, we've had many discussions over the years with Dassault. I mean, and we see Dassault as a partner on this journey. We knew that we couldn't stay on 13X for forever. We knew that we had to keep a cycle of upgrades for various reasons. But ultimately, that partnership with Dassault, we communicated some of the functionality that was critical to us as part of our upgrade. And so we had some basically enhancement requests that we were requesting. It's like, hey, for the upgrade, we want to make sure that this functionality exists. And so there was a lot of communication, a lot of discussion with Dassault R&D, and getting us to where we were planning on doing a 3DX upgrade, and where that functionality would meet our need to, for sure, get that upgrade done. Things just evolve. There's a lot of moving pieces.
I remember this very well. I was engaged in some of those discussions from the beginning.
Yeah, and so we had the opportunity to start with putting on one of our newer major programs on the 3DX platform, and so there was definitely some positives to doing that. We were able to start with a more clean sheet sort of program, and we didn't have a lot of like released information inside the ENOVIA, and so we were able to actually take all that data and actually dip our toe into the sand of what it is, really understanding what it is to implement 3DEXperience. We learned so much. It was not an easy journey, but we are utilizing a lot of the knowledge from that implementation of 3DX in our enterprise upgrade. And we initially started with the 2021X upgrade, and we've been using the Agile Safe methodology so that once we got a initial implementation, we got like the essential functionality in place for an initial go live for what the program needed. And then we timed all of our development on a roadmap based off of the functionality and then the program schedule. And so we essentially kept doing a frequent deployments with the new functionality, incorporating new new triggers and new controls, some new processes that we're going to be supporting, getting the data to our suppliers and our partners.
So new program.
Yep.
To have, as you said, an agile I will say, iteration-based implementation process to align all the different things, the business, your own IT organization, and of course, Dassault system deliveries.
Yes,
as you mentioned,
for sure.
This is the secret sauce to
it is
to success.
Yeah. And what's interesting is that in parallel with all of our development, we were continuously working with Dassault on the side for ensuring that we're evaluating and providing feedback on any of those enhancement requests from the several years in the past when we made a trip to Belize. We're going through and providing feedback to R&D, saying, yes, this meets the requirement, or yes, oh, but we forgot. Now it's new. So it's just an iterative process. And so we were making sure that we were able to then, of course, know what functionality would be out of the box and know what we'd have to put in place to,
as you remember, many discussions on the configuration management.
Oh, yeah.
It was, I think it's a core topic obviously for aerospace. And
absolutely.
And again, I want to thank Bell for contributing also to making our solutions even better for the aerospace industry. So when you sum all this, I mean, all these announcements, all these things, what do you see as the biggest differences between working in this COExperience model-based environment compared to the state in which Bell was before?
Yeah. I think the biggest difference is in the ENOVIA and CATIA V6 days, we essentially had two separate objects and that were synchronized with each other. And so that introduced some challenges. And then going to 3DX, we are now all under one single object, which is the physical product. And that makes one way for new things life a lot easier. Once you get the data over to that UPS structure, it makes life easier. Everything is essentially underneath the physical product. And the challenge with it, though, is taking all of your existing data and migrating it into that new data model. And so then that's a whole nother conversation.
But you get there.
But you get there. Yes.
You get there. So from because again, even if we are moving from somehow an ENOVIA environments to this next COExperience ENOVIA-based environments, which, as you said, CATIA, but also Delmia and other pieces.
Yeah.
How do you manage the transformation that this implies for the business and for the users?
This morning, the Sierra Nevada gave a really good presentation on this. I mean, it was as real as it gets. He outlined it was like right on the money. The first thing is that you have to you can't bring the same business processes in that you did in the previous system and expect it to just smash it into the new system. The most important thing I think that we did as part of this was we involved the business in evaluation of the tool out of the box. So we had key subject matter experts. We utilized the tool out of the box and said, hey, what's missing? Can we use it?
Mm-hmm.
And then we identified all the different gaps. And then we would go and discuss those gaps. Hey, is this a bug? Hey, so is there something that we're missing? Is there a license that allows this behavior? Or is this something that we know is so specific to Bell that, hey, we would have to at least consider doing some kind of evaluation? So essentially a triage of all the different gaps identified with the tool out of the box. So that I think helped with the business acceptance and kind of the knowledge from the business about what this transformation was going to be. The challenge, though, however, is that you don't get everybody from the business, and a lot of the information doesn't disseminate to everyone in the organization. And so the organizational change management is a real challenge, and being able to communicate and provide the information that resonates with the business on hey, what does this upgrade mean to me? And so I think we tried to involve the subject matter experts and key representatives from the business into the whole evaluation process. We bring them into all of our agile development demonstrations and system demos. But even then, once we start getting into more of our system integration testing and user acceptance testing, we bring a wider audience and catch a wider net of business testers, and then we start getting additional feedback. Hey, why does it do this? Why does it do that? I didn't know that you guys were going to do this. And so, right, they really start seeing like, hey, hands-on, this is how it's working. Why does it work this way? So we had a lot of feedback, and we had some additional requirements that came out of that kind of testing. But at the same time, I think they appreciated being involved with it, but at the same time, whenever we still go live with this type of implementation, it's like a big surprise to a lot of people, right? And they're like, why did we do this? What's the benefit? And so that's one of the lessons learned from our initial 3DX implementation was I don't think we did a good enough job of communicating to all the end users on why we were doing this, why we decided to put the program on this, and then long-term what the benefits are. Honestly, one of the key benefits is that they're going to be put on a PLM system and a CAD system that has more of the latest technology. And it's a step in our bell wide to go into more of an upgraded PLM and CAD system and CAM system, and really getting on, we'll say that the bleeding edge, because, and it's a double-edged sword, right? Because there is something to say about being on being able to adopt a lot of this new functionality, right? We can talk about some of the new technologies that the SO is embedding into the different suite of tools in ENOVIA and CATIA and Delmi and Simulia and so on. We can't do that without being on a new release, right?
Exactly.
And if we're not on a continuous upgrade cycle, we're not getting these new enhancements. And those new enhancements, I think, are something that can set our business apart from other companies who are still on their journey to making it to an upgraded and newer PLM system.
And then going from customization to configuration that can be more easily sustained over time.
Exactly.
Which again is an overall transformation, I think, in the PLM space where people were really used to highly tailored and customize the system, but to a point where it was not so easy to manage at the right cost. But also, I think it's a way to eventually streamline some collaboration and to close or to remove some barriers or walls across organizations, but people really working on the same view of the world.
Yeah.
Instead of two different views.
That's absolutely right. And going into the 3DX platform, one of the things that we're having to do is that we had a lot of custom ENOVIA functionality, and we're moving a lot of that custom ENOVIA functionality and really evaluating, taking a step back and saying, why do we do this? Getting down to the core requirements, and not trying to just again mash that into, okay, let's make a widget for it. Right? One more widget, right? And then you end up in this widget madness. So it's really understanding, okay, what are the requirements, understanding the process, and again, just stepping back and saying, how do we really make this flow better? How do we consolidate some of this functionality maybe into a single widget, or maybe instead of 6 different custom ENOVIA pages, maybe now it's just 2 widgets, something like that. So I think that's something that is a ongoing activity as we go on, and we're going on this development journey as we figure out more and more kind of skeletons in the closet, right? That we uncover as we start working on stuff. We get the more and more business input, and like, oh well, we didn't know that you were doing that. So having to account for all of those one-off processes, and then incorporating that into our implementation of 3DX.
But for sure, I mean, being in a business which is really driven by programs, I think it's also help somehow to be able to find some streams for transition.
Totally.
And then consider after what you will do with the existing ones that you have to sustain.
Absolutely, and that's a great point actually, because sometimes, right? I think maybe we can all relate to this, is that programs will come up with their own unique processes to do things, and then we end up creating unique customizations specific to our program, right? And so one of the interesting things about this 3DX upgrade project is that we have visibility to that, and now we're questioning all of this and saying, hey, can we add some commonality to this, right? And everybody move to a common process that does everything that this program needs to do and this program needs to do, and then go with one single way to do it and sort of simplify, right? Not having to account for all this different variation in the process.
So do you have set some success KPI or criteria for validating the adoption on the I would say the end result of this transition?
I can't say that we've actually done anything like that. It was just more of a, hey, we need an upgrade, right? And initially we had set a MVP of hey, this is the functionality that needs to be in place for us to be essentially completed with this project. But now that the project is up and running, I mean, now it's just tracking by, we have a target of a specific number of engineering releases every single month, just so that we can meet the program schedule. And so that's really what we're measuring it to. And so we have our challenges with sometimes it's been self-inflicted. At the same time, there's some performance issues as well, and that we're working with Dassault to try to figure out what the best way forward is. At the same time, we're trying to use all of that lessons learned and hey, gotchas for our other 3DX implementation. So yeah.
So do you have any last advice for the people listening to you?
Oh yeah. I would say that the best advice is to ensure that you get familiar with the tool out of the box and go through what your process is in the out of the box tool. And then identify all the different gaps that are there. And some could be a module that you don't know of. It could be something that there's just a different way to do it out of the box. And the key thing is again, not to mash your old process into a new system.
Which really echo with one of the key advice from John Babs
Absolutely.
SNC
and
earlier today.
It's spot on. It is very, very spot on. Get familiar with the out-of-the-box tool, out-of-the-box way of doing things, and see where the gaps are, and then decide what to do from there. Right? It's a long journey. I mean, there's no question about it. It comes with challenges. You're going to have resistance from the business by saying, hey, your business process is different now.
Yeah, people should remember that the things that you are building are pretty complex.
Oh yeah.
And you have a lot of constraints, regulations. So it's of course the defense sector is pretty complex and advanced in their processes. So
absolutely.
This makes all this process even more critical.
Yes. And then I think that the second advice would be as you start your journey and you start your upgrade and migration and functional development roadmap, ensure that all those roadmaps are aligned to each other. Define your architectural runway. Understand all of the complexities with the different plugins, integrations that you need to have, and what needs to be put in place ahead of your development. Make sure that the dependencies are addressed between all the different the features. Understand that access control is always going to be a challenge. And so there's options with going with out of the box type of functionality, but then there's this option about you can do customization, more attribute based access control. But the key point is ensure that you plan, and that you have a pretty well defined feature development roadmap, architectural runway, and that everything is aligned with your data migration, and also, coming from an old CATIA and ENOVIA release, your upgrade track is also, they're all aligned and timed together, and it's a
system by itself.
It's a system by itself. That's exactly right. Yes.
Thank you, Luis. So thank you really for your insight. That this will relate to many people and customers out there. And, so thank you for your time again, and
absolutely
enjoy the end of COExperience.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.